All right. Shalom, shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Recha, Kodash. Double honors to the elders and the apostles of Great Millstone, and peace and blessings to the elect. And as you can see in the title, watch out. Cbdc may require changing the Constitution. Okay. And no, this is not something I made up. And as a matter of fact, as we go into this article, I'm going to read it directly from it, and you can see that for yourself. And always, you can access the article in the description box. Now, yeah, I just came across this article. I just saw it, so I quickly read through it, and the spirit jumped on me to do a lesson on it. So I didn't really have any precepts off the top, but if anything comes to mind, as we go through the lesson, then we'll bring it out. All right, so let's read through this a bit and hit some of these key points. Now, the BIS, which I've done a lesson on them before, right? The Bank of International Settlements, I believe that's what the acronym stands for. They're back again, right? So according to them, CBDC rollouts may require changing the Constitution. Okay. It says the IMF is warning that with all these CBDCs about to launch, there need to be global interoperability standards between them all. And they're working on a global platform to facilitate just that. Now let's type this in here real quick, get some synonyms on this. Let's see. Okay, interoperability says ability to work, the fact of being able to be used or to do something. Let's see if we have some synonyms. Okay, so we have possibility, feasibility, workability, right? So the ability for this to to work, right? And let's actually type interoperability. And I would assume this would probably be like between, working between. Yeah, so here it mainly deals with computers, right? And ability of computer systems or software exchange and make useful information. So basically the ability for them to successfully work with each other, right? As all these different central bank digital currencies are coming out. It says, as we scroll down, speaking at a conference of African central banks in Rabat, Morocco, IMF Managing Director Kristalina Georgieva said that there needs to be agreement among CBDC implementations. So what they don't want is for everybody to do their own thing. They want some global platform or contract that everybody adheres by. On a common, quote unquote, on a common regulatory framework for digital currencies that will allow global interoperability, so the ability to work basically anywhere together, anywhere across the planet. Failure to agree on a common platform would create a vacuum that would likely be filled by cryptocurrencies, and that's what they don't want because they can't control those cryptocurrencies like they can CBDCs. So that's why they want to basically drive those cryptocurrencies off the market using CBDCs. Not to be outdone, the Bank of International Settlements worked, and they're like the brains of the central banks, right? Work with 7 central banks to publish YARP, right? Yet another research paper on CBDC policy entitled Central Bank Digital Currencies Ongoing Policy Perspectives. The central banks involved were Japan, Sweden, Switzerland, England, the United States, Canada, and the European Union. The paper is mostly a snoozer, right? It mostly deals with development of CBDC work requires careful consideration, and these are quotes from the paper that was written, right? By the published by the BIS. Development of CBDC work requires careful consideration and engagement with a wide range of stakeholders, including the private sector and legislators. To successfully meet its public policy objectives, a CBDC ecosystem should allow a wide range of private and public stakeholders to participate and, in doing so, deliver services which benefit end users. The complex design questions and the potential risks arising from the implementation of any CBDC require careful consideration. So now comes the part where, okay, we on a high level, we know what a CBDC is and what role it plays. But when it comes to actually integrating this into society, that is where the things get snuck in there. So it says the main part of this paper was a snoozer until you get to the rather innocuous sounding annexes like box 2, legal considerations. This is where it starts to get interesting. What are retail CBDCs exactly? It says here, the paper wonders, are they cash, deposits, or something else entirely? This is quite the question because if CBDCs aren't cash, there has to be a reason why they wouldn't be. When you start to see where CBDCs are going, expiry dates, programmability, social credit scores, what we're talking about is almost a kind of anti-cash. And this is, according to the author, this is his observation, not according to the paper, right? About this being an anti-cash thing. But he's not too far off, right? That's exactly what they're doing. Further, the paper wonders, would there need to be changes to banking charters, legislation, or even the constitutions of the countries using them or issuing them? And this is from the paper. Legislation may need to be enacted or adjusted to specifically authorize the issuance and distribution of a retail CBDC. Example changes to central bank charters, um, changes to central bank charters or statutes, legislation in other areas related to payments, or to the Constitution itself. Okay, so as they are discussing what changes would need to be made to allow the issuance of these central bank digital currencies, they mentioned that certain countries may need to change, adjust, or enact central bank charters or statutes, or some legislations that they have in place, or even their constitutions, which we know America has a constitution. Okay, so now they're up to the point of the when dealing with the ability to make this practical use, what changes need to be made, and now the Constitution is on the line. But Biden doesn't have a problem with that. He's right on board with it. It says who had new constitutional convention on their bingo card for the rollout of CBDCs? We do now. And then it goes on into as box 3, which is another section, right? What tools may be needed to manage stressed conditions? And basically it goes into the ability for them to do things that they weren't able to do before with cash or with the current system that is in place. Negative interest rates, X, Y, and Z, being able to hold only a certain amount of these digital money, digital stable coins or whatnot in your account at a time. Okay. And so on and so forth. So basically, you're kind of forced to spend this amount that is in your account, like there are going to be certain disadvantages to having a certain amount of money in your account at a certain time, which means that you'd rather off just start utilizing it. So that then pushes for a system of fluent spending, right? In the sense that maybe you make certain amount a week. There's no point in trying to have a savings account, trying to save that. No, just use it. Basically just like everything is subscription based. You get this amount of money. It's like an allotment, almost like every week you get this amount to use, and you don't really benefit from having it roll over into the next week or anything of that sort. Right. So yeah, they go into a lot of these other things, which, you can read yourself. I've linked it into the description box. You can read it yourself. But yeah, it's a pretty interesting stuff that they have here in this paper that they wrote, man. But these people are definitely the CBDC is another form of a Trojan horse that they're using to implement some major changes as well. Okay, and once again, you can think of Revelation 13 and 14, right? And that they should make an image to the beast, so on and so forth. And 15 as well, that all that would not worship the image of the beast should be killed. So through these legislational changes and even constitutional changes, if need be, they can institute or implement a society where it is legal for them to outcast people that don't sign up or partake or initiate themselves into this beast system. Okay, so that's pretty much where they're at. They already have the technology. Okay, they're setting up the infrastructure, which they pretty much have it in place. It's now just time to roll it out, but they need to roll it out basically in the form of a new world. So you have almost like a new world constitution, a new world financial system, and at the same time, you have the UN on the other hand. As I did a lesson on it maybe yesterday or a day before, pushing for the ability to have basically the power to run as though they are a world government. So they make decisions on behalf of pretty much all the world nations that are part of that. So we're one body that determines the laws of the world, one system that determines the currency and the usage of the financial system of the world, controlling the internet at the same time. I mean, this is where they're going. They're going global. All right. They are going global. So time is moving, man. Time is moving very quickly, but this is pretty much where they at. And that was pretty much it on that. Just wanted to bring that out. Quick heads up on that. That this is where they're going with it. So let's keep on watching. But we know, as time goes on, you can see how big, how big this prophecy really is. This isn't something that's just like a one-day thing that they come to you and, hey, you want to take the mark of the, oh, you don't? Okay, all right, cool. You going about your day. No, this is a complete world change, a world event. So with that, Lord willing, that was edifying and informative to the elect. In closing, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Rachak, Wadash. Until next time, Shalom.